You could be like one of those monkey paw genies, like, you know,
Yep.
you do it to the letter of what they asked
you
for.
wish for, actually.
Have you ever been a genie?
I was a monkey paw genie for a little bit. Just like about 6 months in a certain part of Iowa. But I did not enjoy it because it was dark.
However, will the podcast be released if you can't hit the right record button?
Yeah, well, it has to record properly to my computer directly. Computer recording. Well, Evan, it appears we are starting World War III again. Not us, not you and me. It feels like we do this every couple months.
Yeah, we're playing a game of chicken with World War III.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, decades down the line, the history books will refer to this whole period as a long, slow world war.
Yeah, assuming there are history books.
With ebbs and flows,
Assuming those are still a thing. That
people will be gathered around the trash fires. It'll be more of an oral tradition because we won't have the technology to type things out.
Mm-hmm.
History will not be recorded in the same way because we will have ruined all of our capabilities to do so.
Yep.
So how are you feeling about the near future?
I don't know. I mean, does this really change anything? I don't know. We've been hearing about this for this has been telegraphed for weeks.
Yeah.
We live in a weird era, and I guess the big departure here is that there's they're not even trying to sell it to anyone. It's just this is going to happen. We're not going to even talk about it in Congress. It's just going to be completely unilateral.
Yeah,
but again, that's kind of where we've been headed for decades.
It's interesting how every time the pretense gets flimsier and flimsier, the attempts to justify our military actions become less and less. It feels like every time we say something like, oh, they're not even pretending anymore.
Yeah.
And it's still somehow the depths go deeper every time of how little they even have to pretend to care about any sort of process.
Yeah. We do not live in a democracy.
No, of course not.
Absolutely not.
The process, of course, not really being the important part. The important part being that we just fucking murdered a bunch of children.
Smite our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And the enemies of Israel.
Operation Epic Fury is what they're calling it.
Yeah, that's also another fucking adding insult to injury.
Fury. What? Is that good? Is it good to call our actions in the world furious? What is that? What message are you trying to send? What image are you trying to evoke by calling your bombing of elementary schools in Iran Operation Epic Fury?
I mean, it's so a bunch of people will clap like seals at it. The people, whoever doesn't need to be convinced that this is a good thing.
Right.
They're obviously already so in the bag. That's fuck anyone who isn't us.
Yeah. Our Senator Joni Ernst, she posted, I went through and checked all of our usual, our rogues gallery, see what they had to say about this. Joni Ernst said, through Operation Epic Fury, President Trump is standing up for American lives that have been taken and targeted by the Iranian regime and its terrorist proxies. When was that?
Yeah.
Which lives have been taken? This mission is critical to ensuring the regime that chants death to America never has a nuclear weapon to make a more peaceful Middle East and world.
Do you think this is going to make less people chant death to America?
Yeah. I mean,
fucking idiots.
Are they really under any delusions about that?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
We have so many repeated examples of our actions making everyone hate us more and pray for our death and, plot actions against U.S. citizens, which is an understandable response because we keep going over there and fucking killing people for no reason. Well, reasons being our own just amass our own power and wealth and dominate everyone else in the world. That's why the U.S. death machine keeps turning, I guess.
Yep. And there's no actual opposition. Not from
domestic opposition. Yeah.
Not even domestic. Like there's no domestic opposition.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
then Europe, Canada, like
Right.
Australia, like all of these countries that are aligned like with the global north, they don't give a shit. They're on the same fucking page, more or less.
Yeah, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, immediately was like, "Yep, I'm on board. I like this." Fucking for what? What do you gain from this? It has to end eventually. There has to be consequences to being an ally of the United States. Yeah, there has to be eventually a downfall here. But yeah, the part of Ernst's statement that I found curious was, let me read this again. This mission is critical to ensuring the regime that chants death to America never has a nuclear weapon to make a more peaceful Middle East and world. So I feel like she wrote a sentence and then inserted something else and forgot to delete part of it, because the way that reads, and I agree with this, the way it reads is that Iran getting a nuclear weapon would make a more peaceful Middle East and world.
Because then this wouldn't have happened.
Right. Like, yes, Iran actually having nuclear capabilities would prevent stuff like this from happening and would make for a more peaceful region and world, because it would deter the West from going in and fucking around with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially after, the whole Obama-Iran deal, where, diplomacy was tried, and the lesson that they can take away from that is do not ever fucking trust the United States. One administration might try to, cool things down a little bit, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be another person comes right after and starts fucking saber rattling again. Mm-hmm. Not that Obama didn't saber rattle either, but yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
It's
fucked.
When
the pendulum swings from from here to here.
Yeah.
And when it's here, that's really not going to be enough to protect you from when it's here. This is a visual for Evan only.
Justin is moving his hand a very small amount.
Maybe 5 degrees turning. Yeah. Ashley Hinson wrote, President Trump is taking decisive action with Operation Epic Fury to protect American interests from the tyrannical Iranian regime. A regime that chants death to America. Oh, somebody spread some talking points, it seems, and has backed terror across the region. This operation makes clear that the United States will not sit back while Iran threatens our troops, our allies, including Israel, as if you needed to specifically mention them, as if we weren't already aware of which ally you were thinking of in particular. Let's see. Not sit back while Iran threatens our troops, our allies, including Israel, or our homeland. And under this president, Iran will never obtain a nuclear weapon. When has Iran threatened our homeland?
I don't know. I've seen that Conor O'Malley tweet being reposted a bunch. It's like, I'm 60. I live in Tampa, Florida. I eat corn and beef every day. I wear a Titleist hat every day. And Iran is the greatest threat to my freedom.
Yeah. That death to America thing. It's like, well, they're allowed to say that, aren't they?
Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech.
Come on. Don't we believe in freedom of speech? I know that they're not part of our they're not governed by our constitution, but isn't that what we claim we're spreading throughout the world?
It's the concept.
Yeah. We're spreading freedom, except that they're not allowed to say death to America. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this shit. Trump's statement, which I don't have in front of me, he said something like, I think he posted this on Truth Social in the middle of the night. It's like, hey, when we're done bombing the shit out of your country, people of Iran, take over your government. Hurry, this is your only chance.
Yeah, well...
what the fuck, dude? You think that they're going to be like, we love you for doing this, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that does seem to be the goal. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're committing boots on the ground, but it's like, how can you take that off the table when this is what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, they love making promises. Like, oh, we're not getting into another forever war. We're not going to send U.S. troops to die. Although he did say something like, I don't have this in front of me either, but I saw a short video clip of Trump saying, "Yeah, some U.S. troops might die. That's the price we pay for."
Yeah,
what? For what now?
That's the cost of doing business, and it's something that they will use as a fucking propaganda piece. That's more justification for why this needs to be done, because obviously Iran is just fucking so crazy and evil, even though they haven't they've been on the butt end of all of this shit for the last decades.
Yeah. They're the unhinged, unpredictable, tyrannical regime. A threat to anyone. The wild card. Who knows what they're going to do tomorrow? Certainly doesn't describe the United States of America and its allies.
Man, I wonder what Lahn thinks about this.
Yeah, weirdly, Feenstra and Nunn had not made a statement yet when I checked about an hour ago. Had nothing to say so far. Ashley Hinson continues, though. My prayers are with the brave service members carrying out this mission and the families supporting them at home. And what I'm about to say is pretty disrespectful, but my prayers are not with those people. My prayers are with the victims of us. I do not pray that they succeed in this mission. I do not pray that they are safe while they execute fucking terror and destruction across the world. Yeah.
And let's be clear, they're not going to win this mission. The United States is for how many? We're not winning a war ever again. That's never happening. It's not going to fucking happen.
Sure, we're maybe not a decisive overall victory, but we sure can kill a lot of people and blow up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We can do that over and over again. And that somehow is protecting our interests. That's not destabilizing the planet and causing more and more people to hate us and want us to die. Governor Kim Reynolds, her statement is kind of interesting. Kevin and I are praying for our Iowa National Guard soldiers and all American military forces serving in the Middle East as the United States executes this mission. Please join us in keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. Now, she didn't say anything about Iran and how they deserve this.
Yeah.
Her statement was entirely focused on Iowans who may be sent to die.
I mean, that's probably smart. As opposed to, she doesn't have any foreign policy, input the way that a congressperson would.
I suppose, yeah.
But either way, fuck her still.
Yeah. I disagree. I think that we should not pray for the soldiers. Marionette Miller Meeks didn't say anything on her own, but she did retweet Fox News. Breaking news 8 hours ago. Israel launched a preemptive strike against Iran early Saturday, according to an announcement from Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz.
Wow.
Preemptive strike.
Preemptive strike. I love that fucking definition.
Mm-hmm. Decades and decades of threatening to do this. And now,
because they were going to attack us first. Definitely. We weren't amassing a bunch of fucking aircraft carriers and stuff in the Middle East. Clearly, they were going to attack us.
Had to do it. I did look at the opposition a little bit, see what Democrats had to say about it. John Fetterman posted something supportive immediately. Mm-hmm. I didn't screenshot it, so I don't remember exactly what he said. But Greg Landsman, do you know that guy? Congressman from Ohio.
No idea.
He was posting on Blue Sky in support of this, which seems like a big mistake.
Yeah, not maybe the place to do it.
And he was posting about how this is targeting military infrastructure. While when you look at the news, it's we just killed 62 children by bombing an elementary school.
Yeah.
And he's writing about targeting military infrastructure to prevent attacks from the belligerent Iran.
Yeah. Not all of the Democrats, but a bunch of people were standing and applauding when Trump said the line about Iran not having nuclear weapons and basically, implying that there would be force, including Elizabeth Warren.
Really?
Standing and clapping.
State of the Union?
State of the Union, yeah.
I did not watch any of that this year.
Yeah, I just saw clips. But
yeah, man. They're all united in how much they acknowledge the threat of Iran.
Yeah.
Any day now.
I've seen a lot of people also being like, oh, like if people voted for Hillary or Kamala, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But like, you think there's like that much daylight between the Democrats and Republicans on this issue?
Maybe it wouldn't have
Not
happened
really.
on the same timeline.
It wouldn't have happened
but no.
the same way. But I mean, come on. Jesus.
Yeah. Our entire government and military has been thirsting for this forever. Since long before we were born. They've been wanting this and trying to egg it on.
Yeah, I mean, Iranian Revolution happened before we were born, right?
Yeah. So Chuck Schumer, who is the leader, basically in charge of the Democrats, right? He wrote this, Leader Schumer, statement on U.S. military operations in Iran. When I talked to Secretary Rubio, I implored him to be straight with Congress and the American people about the objectives of these strikes and what comes next. Iran must never be allowed to attain a nuclear weapon, but the American people do not want another endless and costly war in the Middle East when there are so many problems at home. The administration has not provided Congress and the American people with critical details about the scope and immediacy of the threat. Confronting Iran's malign regional activities, nuclear ambitions, and harsh oppression of the Iranian people demands American strength, resolve, regional coordination, and strategic clarity. Like the federal government is also murdering Americans in the street domestically too, right?
Yeah.
This fucking shit. Like, oh, they're so much worse than us. Like, they're putting up cameras all over the place to track our movements. There's like millions of people on a list of domestic terrorists for like expressing opposition to government policy. Like, we are worse than this. I'll say that. Like, the United States is worse than Iran when it comes to civil liberties. I'm shooting from the hip here, but I'm just going to make that claim. Unfortunately, President Trump's fitful cycles of lashing out and risking wider conflict are not a viable strategy. What's the alternative?
Yeah, it's a strategy. That's the problem.
The administration must brief Congress, including an immediate all senators classified briefing and in public testimony to answer these vital questions. The Senate should quickly return to session and reassert its constitutional duty by passing our resolution to enforce the War Powers Act. Yeah, good fucking luck with that, man. They don't respect you. They don't need your approval. Yeah, you know what? I saw a pickup truck driving on the interstate yesterday that had a big decal on the back window with a Punisher skull that was like red, white, and blue. American flag Punisher skull. And it said, "I'm an American. Your approval is not required." And it had a vanity plates that said "sinful," but that's kind of irrelevant. The relevant part is, I'm Donald Trump. I don't require your approval. Or just, I'm the president. Like, I'm in charge of the U.S. military. I don't need anyone's approval to do anything, as proven by the last several decades of foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you kidding, Chuck Schumer? Maybe you're not trying to kid anyone. Maybe you know what your role is. You must at this point.
I mean, yeah, I think so.
Man. What a disgusting world. What a disgusting world we came into. I didn't choose this. China, please. Now is the time. We must be stopped. All right, you want to talk about some state politics?
Yeah, Justin, when he sent me the notes for this episode, was like, hey, we have like some good stuff to talk about today. There's actually good news to talk about.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. This isn't so much good news yet, but Zach Lahn, a guy running for governor on the Republican side, he's in the Republican primary. He went on Tucker Carlson a few days ago. You remember Tucker?
I remember him.
He used to be on TV. Now he's just on the internet. Kind of on equal footing with us, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Tucker Carlson's basically a podcaster. Well, he is. He is a podcaster.
Yeah, he is.
So we're colleagues. But he interviewed Zach Lahn. If you don't remember, Zach Lahn used to be like a Koch network fundraiser, like KOCH, the Koch brothers, you know them. Zach Lahn raised money for the Koch network, Don't really know what goes into that kind of job. But he also started a charter school. I think it was a charter school with one of the Koch sons' wives. And then he himself married that Koch wife. So we don't know the intricate details of all these relationship problems, but that's interesting.
It is interesting.
He worked for the Kochs, and then he stole one of their wives and moved her to Iowa.
Yeah, and he's a freaking farmer, you know?
So he knows intimately how much farmers have been fucked over.
Yeah. And he's been endorsed by RFK. So that means
yes.
He's great guy.
Well, I don't know if it's a direct endorsement from the man himself, but he is like the Maha PAC or whatever endorsed him.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, he's part of that. He's trying to appeal to that weirdo strain of conservatism, I guess. So if you look at the chapters on this Tucker Carlson interview, they talked about stuff like why is land so expensive? Capitalism versus corporatism? What? The AI takeover. What is really important in life? Now that's a broad question.
That's an important one. It's important to know what's important in life.
The assassination of JFK.
What's his theory here?
I only watched a couple seconds of that, but he was basically talking about how there was like a spiritual change in the nation after JFK was assassinated, and things have never been the same. I don't think they really got into any like interesting theories about it.
Yeah, it looks like it was like a 3-minute segment.
Yeah. So I want to play just like a few seconds or maybe a minute of the beginning here, because I had never heard Zach Lahn's voice, and I want to get your impression of. You haven't watched this.
I have not. I have not heard his voice either. I was going to save it for today.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear a little bit of the beginning of this interview.
So you're running for governor of Iowa, and we can get into the whole politics of that maybe later, but I'm interested in why.
I think the primary catalyst for me doing this was I believe we are losing our culture and our heritage as a people. That's my honest belief. And I believe it's not just in Iowa, it's across the country. But when I look around and see people that were running for office, it was all about policy. It was all about, here's this tax rate, or, this regulation needs to be changed. And I just thought, no one is standing up to say we have to get the culture right first. We have to step in and say, what does it mean to be an American? What does it mean to be an Iowan? And are the traditions and the heritage and the value of our ancestors important to us?
No one is talking about that at all.
Yeah, no. Everyone in these races, it's also focused on policy. It's so policy focused.
They're talking about policy so much at these races. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Sorry. It kind of sounds like he's got false teeth. Like, you know what I mean?
Got the veneers,
like that little bit of the like kind of sound when somebody talks and they've got veneers or dentures or whatever. I'm speculating, but I don't know. I hear a hint of that, and I don't know. This is just not Republican governor material. Like he's too soft spoken.
Yeah, we're throwing out the politics too, or the policies here too.
No.
His main problem is that he sounds like a nerd.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. He does sound like a nerd.
Which, I mean, that is going to be a problem with the GOP base, right?
Yeah. No. How are you going to fight? New Heights Randy and the devil's at your doorstep, Adam Steen. Like. This is not going to do it. You don't have the institutional backing of Randy Feenstra, and you don't have the like psychotic religious delusion of Adam Steen. You have a sort of, we're missing so much from our culture. It's like you're sort of weepy almost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is pretty common for a lot of those guys, though.
Sure. Yeah. I guess maybe it does work on some people, but to me, it just comes across as,
yeah,
I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah, I don't know if the general election rewards that.
Yeah. And then I wanted to, so, he was talking about like, we got to get the culture right. We need to what does it mean to be an American? What does it mean to be an Iowan? Oh, we don't want to forget about our history and our traditions and our heritage, right? I mean, coming from a guy like this, I think you know enough to sort of infer what he's sort of getting at there, maybe an ethnic purity type of thing.
Yeah.
But I have a clip here where they get a little more into that. This is like a half hour into the interview.
But in these papers were also examples like this. In 2000, there was a study called the Williams study. It's the most cited study on the safety of glyphosate. The most cited. 99.9% of all papers that cite the safety of glyphosate cite this study. Last month, that study was retracted because it was found that Monsanto executives wrote the study. But here's maybe even the worst part. We found that out in 2017 and it was retracted in 2025. The Monsanto executive actually said, when he's sending this back, he better not have any revisions. That's what he said. And so, look, I think oftentimes when you talk about this subject, especially in my home state, there's this desire to paint you as some liberal hippie that doesn't like farming. I'm the exact opposite of that.
I can tell.
I actually think that wokeism is a mental disorder that's trying to destroy our country.
Whoa.
And that we have got...
Hard pivot.
Yeah, he's talking about like the dangers of pesticides. And like before this, they've been talking about like, the health impacts of all these farming activities and the pesticides and the chemicals and whatnot. And then he's like, but don't call me some, pansy lefty,
Well, I don't know if this happened before or after this interview, but Trump did just sign an executive order that is, promoting the production of glyphosate.
Oh, really?
So you might actually be at odds with, your party. Well, I saw there is RFK said that he was not particularly happy about this order.
Okay, well, fucking do something about it then, man.
Yeah, there might be some.
Stick to your guns.
Might be some division there.
God, all it takes is a few people actually having their own weird principles that they stick to. Just make this shit fracture a little bit. Come on, fall apart, please. Please let this fragile alliance collapse. But yeah, I want to hear more from So Zach Lahn thinks that wokeism is a mental disorder ruining the country or whatever.
To fight to protect our culture, our people, and our heritage. But I also believe that our government has been captured in large part, and this is one of the most egregious examples.
It's really simple. Why do you love the country? One of the reasons you love it is because of its physical beauty, the landscape. I mean, America is great because it's got great people and because it's inherently great. Just beautiful. And anyone who's despoiling nature is
brilliant logic. America is great because it is.
It's great because it's beautiful and there's great people.
We got a good circle there. It's great because it's just inherently great. No more questions.
An enemy of the country. Super simple. Anyone building ugly buildings, spraying poisonous chemicals, those are our enemies. Those are not our friends. I don't think it's complicated at all. And that's not the liberal position. The liberals are the ones who are putting bulldozing trees to build solar farms.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear about what this is. It's an aggressive, coordinated effort to defile God's creation by people who hate God.
Yeah.
Not hard.
It's not hard. That's what it is.
God damn.
Putting up solar panels is an effort to defile God's creation by people who hate God. We all know God did not create the sun. That is outside of God's domain. So by accepting the energy sent to us by the sun, that is not part of God's plan. God put fossil fuels in the ground for us to use. God gave us ground. God did not give us sun.
I think even going further, God put humans here, supposedly.
That's what you think.
That's what I hear. But yeah, I mean, so aren't we also part of that? we're part of, we are the nature. We are
humans,
natural beings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the choices that humans make are part of the natural order by nature of, nature. By nature of nature.
Yeah, by nature of nature.
Anyway. So, there's hints of him getting into the sort of like populist right kind of thing. Like, we gotta do right for everyone, and protect by protecting the land, we're protecting our heritage. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they're trying to. I mean, Tucker's whole thing is like sheepdogging people who like aren't necessarily like hardcore, like right wingers. Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's like an extension of the Maha thing and all this stuff, where they're like they're bringing this like super fascistic messaging, but kind of softening some of the like more unsavory, like the parts that don't go over well with the general public.
Mm-hmm. Getting there through like legitimate concerns that reasonable people might have, like about about
like
their own
apolitical centrist people who don't really give a fuck because it doesn't affect them. Yeah.
Right. I think I didn't put a timestamp on this, but I think that this is where he talks about Great Replacement Theory. I think is in the chapter labeled "The Immigration Crisis" on the YouTube upload. So just don't have any delusions about what this guy's about. He does want to preserve white culture for white children. He is a 1488 type, even if he's like put a soft-spoken corporate farmer veneer over it.
I'm actually an environmentalist.
Yeah.
It's come up is about immigration.
Yeah,
it's all over. And I think for a long time we have been criticized, ostracized for noticing what's happening and calling it out to say like,
isn't noticing like a 4chan meme also? I think I've seen that before.
I have no idea.
Like they use the word noticing as sort of a dog whistle whenever you're like, oh, I just noticed that a certain powerful person is Jewish or whatever. Noticing. I've seen that on right-wing internet, shit.
What's happening? And there's this idea of replacement migration, this replacement theory.
Uh-oh.
And I don't ever talk about this, but it's like,
yeah, you probably shouldn't.
People talk about it and they're immediately just hammered down. Well, in 2000, the UN put out a document called Replacement Migration.
Of course.
144 pages, multiple languages. But I read this and it's like, it's lining out exactly what's happening. And it's saying, look, European nations are going to be losing population. America's going to be losing population. What's the answer? Well, traditionally, throughout history, the answer is to promote having more children.
Make it easier for people to have kids.
Yes,
get married,
make life more affordable.
Right.
Bring home the money that's being spent overseas and imagine, you just talked about Iraq and Afghanistan. Imagine what our country would be if we didn't spend $10 trillion on that.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could.
Yeah. And he's got like a concerned look on his face, like, oh, just imagine. Yeah, well, what were you doing at the time, Tucker, when that was happening? Like, Fox News host? I mean, I don't think you were exactly critical of U.S. military action at the time.
Yeah.
Can't say I was watching Tucker Carlson habitually then, but
yeah, and it's like, yeah, they're gonna use that $10 trillion to actually help people. This is America, the most brutally capitalist country on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I know the military intervention is part of that, but yeah, they're not, that's not the goal. It's not to fucking help people.
No.
It's to enrich a few people.
I think we've heard probably enough from that interview, but, bringing up the Great Replacement Theory stuff, like why, so they talk about like the UN put out a report about how, white nations' populations are going to decrease, and to keep the numbers up, people will probably migrate into those countries. And they bring it up as if we're like, by default, we're supposed to be like concerned about that. We are supposed to view that as a negative thing. And it's like, the only alternative is to like artificially maintain a white majority. And I mean, well, look, just look at the United States. I mean, focus on our country in particular. This is a white majority country because of colonialism. Like it's not like we were here from the beginning. Yeah. So the only way to preserve whatever culture these guys are talking about is, maintaining a white majority through brutality against other races, which is not. Who thinks that's good?
Well, listen, I think these guys are a little bit, like I said, they're a little different breed of conservatives. So their actual idea is to pay white people to have children. Now,
sure. Yeah.
which is not brutality. It's actually totally cool. Also, they're, not going to do anything, mean to, any of the people who are already here who are not white. Definitely.
Sure, they're not. Yeah, I was watching that the other day, that clip, and I was just thinking, like, whatever is good about this place, like, whatever is worth preserving it has not ever been the result of, like, efforts to maintain white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Like, anything interesting and fun about American culture comes from this, like, meeting of different cultures.
Yeah. Also, like, reading that UN thing, like, the UN is some, like, fucking, like, super left-wing, like, they're trying to eradicate white people. What they're trying to do, that whole fucking, like, thing is to ensure that you still have access to the goods and services that you expect in a fucking first world country.
Right.
It's still about serving people who are already fucking in power, already serving the fucking elite interests and, majority white population.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Iowa Standard keeps showing up in my Facebook feed, Jacob Hall's stupid right-wing blog. And he's been posting about Polymarket a lot recently, the betting odds of various candidates for governor on Polymarket. So here he wrote, "Here's an update from Polymarket. For those wondering why anyone would appear on Tucker Carlson, here is your answer." Well, who was wondering that? Like, Tucker Carlson has a huge following. Like, it's not as big as when he was, like, Fox News' top guy, but who's questioning why you'd go on Tucker? Anyway. Yeah. Big bump for Zach Lahn following his interview this week. For those who are anti-Feenstra, that interview didn't do anything to change Feenstra's number, but it took a big chunk out of Adam Steen's number. So, and this is, like, are we really taking Polymarket betting odds as, like... Do we know what's going to happen because of this? I don't know. But Feenstra currently has a 49% chance of winning on Polymarket, and Zach Lahn went from like
zero
to 26% because he did one interview with Tucker Carlson. Feenstra's number is rebounding finally following his performance at MAGA Nation a week and a half ago. The populist right hates Randy Feenstra, and yet he's still the front runner.
Yeah.
Probably just because most people who are going to vote just are not really engaged.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's kind of like a mirror image of like the 2016 presidential primary when it was like Trump was leading. There's like way too many candidates in, and then every week you'd have a different candidate surging to get close. But I mean, Randy Feenstra is the establishment, and all of these guys are trying to take him down. So it's a little different.
Yeah. So Zach Lahn, Adam Steen, Brad Sherman, and Eddie Andrews are all, slight variations on like an alternative to the establishment, Randy Feenstra. And, Zach Lahn, his soft-spoken Tucker Carlson interview seems to have boosted his odds, according to the betting markets, at least. Eddie Andrews he's got less than 1% chance on Polymarket. That's very sad.
Damn.
Okay, so we do have good news to talk about,
let's get
which
to that.
is an update on the long process here. Our friend Noah Peterson, back in 2022, he was arrested at two city council meetings in Newton, Iowa, October of 2022. So if you scroll back in our podcast feed, you can hear about that. I interviewed Noah in between these two city council meetings, the first time he was arrested and the second time. I drove over there to Newton for that second meeting because I was like, I don't think you should go in there alone. Like the police chief of Newton and the mayor really don't like you, and you continue to bother them. Anyway, I recorded his arrest at the second city council meeting, and my recording of that is the only recording that exists because the city's cameras were shut off for some reason at that point in the meeting.
Interesting. Like maybe they saw him on the public comment list and then I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. So Clark Kaufman at the Iowa Capitol Dispatch wrote this earlier this week. Judge, city's arrest of critic is quintessential viewpoint discrimination. So this is Noah is suing the city of Newton for having arrested him because of his public comments. Declaring that a citizen was, quote, targeted because he criticized the police department and city leadership, a federal judge has ruled that the city of Newton violated the rights of a critic by twice having the man arrested at city council meetings. The decision means that Noah Peterson's lawsuit against the city for violating his constitutional rights can proceed to trial, with the only issue still to be decided being the amount of damages the city might have to pay for those violations. My hope is that the city of Newton has to buy Noah a house. They have to buy him a house in Iowa City.
Yeah, right.
Help him live somewhere besides Newton. Clark's reporting here is good. I kind of just want to jump right into the PDF since we're already 40 minutes into this podcast, because I have a copy of the judge's ruling for this summary judgment, and it's got some fun details. So, basically, Noah gave a public comment, called the mayor and the chief of police fascists. They stopped the meeting and arrested him as he tried to leave the meeting. They had a rule against defamatory comments at the city council meetings, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's your only opportunity really to talk to your elected officials directly for a lot of people. So I highlighted little bits here in this 36-page document, which is the judge. What's the judge's name? Judge Stephanie M. Rose, Chief Judge, United States District Court for the Southern District of Iowa. She was appointed by Obama. I looked that up.
Oh,
so this is a liberal activist judge. That's why this went this way.
Yeah, because it wasn't just fucking egregious.
So Peterson was arrested twice. The criminal complaint filed after the second arrest alleged that Peterson had spoken negatively about Hanson and Newton Police Chief Rob Burdis. The complaint further stated that Peterson had used Hanson's name during the comments, despite warnings from both Hanson and the city attorney that presenters should not do so.
You're not allowed to refer to public officials by name.
How crazy is that? We have a rule here at our city council meetings that when you give a public comment, you cannot say the mayor's name. How did they really think that they could get away with that? You're not allowed to say the mayor's name when you do public comment at a city council meeting. When Peterson submitted public records requests seeking information about how the department had handled the matter, the city denied them. So the reason that Noah was pissed off in particular at that moment is that they had arrested a driver who had passed a sobriety test. They arrested him for driving drunk, and he hadn't been drunk at all.
He literally blew a zero before they arrested him.
Yes. So Noah submitted a public records request about that arrest and the aftermath of it, and they didn't give him anything. They gave him nothing. They denied his request entirely. All right, here's some interesting stuff. So the first arrest was October 3rd of 2022. This arrest was unprecedented. No one had ever been arrested at a Newton City Council meeting before. I find that remarkable, but now that I think about it, that should be extremely uncommon. There's really no reason to arrest people at these meetings.
I was going to say, it's like a small town.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a common occurrence.
No, it shouldn't really happen at any city council meetings. There's
Yeah.
almost never anything happening that like would warrant an arrest. Okay, so at the same meeting, other speakers made critical comments about city officials that Mayor Hansen permitted under the rule that he had invented that you can't make defamatory comments. For example, Fred Rhodes criticized the city's rental inspector, alleging corruption and claiming the inspector had, quote, free rein to find code violations and a blank check to boost his income by failing property inspections. Mayor Hansen characterized these statements as totally false, yet concluded they did not violate the rule because they were merely opinion that did not damage the inspector's reputation. Like saying that the city inspector like intentionally fails property inspections just to enrich himself couldn't possibly damage his reputation.
Wow.
Yeah, they have such flimsy defenses of like the double standard that they placed upon Noah and no one else. Barney Bushore also criticized the inspector at the October 3rd meeting, calling the inspector's actions ridiculous and expressing astonishment at some of the things they come up with. That was in quotes. It's a direct quote. Some of the things they come up with. This is even crazier than the last one. Mayor Hansen allowed these comments to proceed without interruption because Bushore, whom Hansen described as a very good friend, had discussed them with the mayor beforehand. So, how could you make that more obvious? Like, oh, that guy's my friend, so that's why I didn't stop him. It's because I like him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then they refer to my recording here. After the arrest, Mayor Hansen addressed the remaining audience members and instructed them to, quote, go do your activism somewhere where somebody cares.
Want to participate in that, you feel free to do that. I would challenge you to go to a board of supervisors meeting or go to a meeting of the state legislature and conduct yourself in that manner. It would not be allowed, and per the rules of this council, will not be allowed here either, as long as I'm sitting in this chair. It is disrespectful of the men and women you've elected to do your business, and as long as I'm sitting in this chair and we have rules to enforce, I will do so. I make no apologies for that whatsoever. This is a business meeting conducted to take care of your business. And if you want to be politically active on issues, there's plenty of place and time for that. It is not here in this council chambers. Make sure you get a good recording back there while you're pointing that at me. I want you to get every word correct. We will now resume the council meeting. Go do your activism somewhere where somebody cares. The council meeting will continue.
Which is only on the record because I was present. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn too much. I'm just like, it's crazy that my decision to drive out to Newton that night and hold my phone up is like crucial to this whole thing. The criminal complaint filed against Peterson explicitly stated he was arrested for, quote, speaking negatively towards the mayor of Newton and the police chief. They wrote that.
There's also a very funny thing. I don't think it's in this PDF, but under like the victim information, they put society.
Yes. Oh man, I forgot about that.
It's so fucking funny.
Yeah. During a subsequent meeting with city officials, so the county declined to pursue criminal charges after the arrest because why would you? During a subsequent meeting with city officials, including Mayor Hansen and Chief Burtis, the county prosecutor explained that the Jasper County Board of Supervisors wished to avoid the media attention surrounding Peterson's arrests. So I think that the Jasper County is like afraid of Rock Hard Caucus. I think that's what that means. The prosecutor instead suggested proceeding with municipal criminal charges, which would shift responsibility for prosecution to city attorneys. This is, it's so funny that they went for it. Like, the county is like, hey, why don't you guys take this one? I think you can handle it. And then it completely blows up in their faces. The judges
like
ruled
in the
against
most
them,
obvious way. Like,
yeah.
Fuck. How do you have? I don't know. I don't have any respect for lawyers, nor should anyone. But like, how are you that fucking bad at your job?
This is like so. You so blatantly violated the U.S. Constitution. Like elementary schoolers would understand why this is a violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, you could learn about it in the fucking U of I's, freedom of whatever the fuck that thing is.
Center for Intellectual Freedom.
Yeah, Center for Intellectual Freedom.
They are, by the way, asking for more money from the state now. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Because the enrollment in their classes is so bad that they need more money.
They need more money to advertise, because then more people will want to take the courses, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I mentioned this on the show, but they put up posters on the downtown poster boards advertising the classes.
Oh, man. How quick did those get ripped down?
Well, that's my domain, so I covered up a couple of them with my own posters.
Good call.
Mayor Hansen's post-arrest statement was captured on video by an audience member after the official meeting feed was stopped. When Mayor Hansen noticed the recording, he urged the individual to make sure to, quote, get a good recording, and to, quote, get every word correct. You're welcome, Mayor Hansen. You're welcome. I recorded everything you said, I released all of it to the public, and this is the result. You fucking idiot. All right, what else do I have highlighted here? Right, so once the judge gets into like the rationale for the ruling here, defendants, so that'd be the city, contend they are entitled to summary judgment on several grounds. They argue that Peterson's speech was defamatory and therefore unprotected by the First Amendment.
Okay.
That seems pretty dumb just on its face. They maintain that his arrests were justified by probable cause based on his disruptive conduct in refusing to stop speaking after being ruled out of order. And they assert that even if probable cause was lacking, qualified immunity shields them because the law did not clearly establish as much. As to municipal liability, defendants argue that Peterson cannot show the city ratified Mayor Hansen's interpretation of the rule as official policy. So all of that rationale together seems pretty nonsensical. Like, his speech is not protected by the First Amendment because it's defamatory. Probable cause because he was disruptive. Even if there wasn't probable cause, we have qualified immunity. For it's not really justified at all. And this rule that we enforced to the extent that we arrested somebody for violating it was not official policy of the city. Well, why'd you arrest somebody? Why'd you put someone in jail for breaking the rule if it's not official city policy? Defendants invoke the defamation exception. So this is not First Amendment protected speech because it's defamation. Peterson called a police officer a domestic abuser and labeled the mayor and police chief fascists. These statements, defendants contend, were defamatory and thus unprotected. Regarding the fascist comment, defendants acknowledge in their briefing that such political rhetoric does not constitute actionable defamation, but instead argue that Mayor Hansen made an objectively reasonable mistake of law in believing otherwise. So, does that defense ever work? Is that like legal? Is that a strong case? Like, okay, I admit that that's not defamation, but at the time I thought that it was.
I thought it was.
They maintain that ordinary individuals, quote, view such accusations as factual assertions, explaining an individual's political ideology that carry extremely negative connotations.
Do they? It's like when like when I hear that Rob Sand is an extreme liberal,
right?
I'm like, yeah, that's fact.
That's defamation.
That's fact.
First, Peterson's reference to an unnamed officer as a domestic abuser was not defamatory because it was substantially true.
I was waiting for that.
Right. So the cop that he was referring to actually was subject to a civil no contact order because of domestic abuse allegations. And there are court documents about the whole thing, and the cop in question never denied the accusations against him, never claimed innocence of these domestic abuse allegations. And so, you know, the judge's ruling here is like, yeah, like, it's not defamation then. Like, it's on the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eighth Circuit has identified calling someone a fascist as a paradigmatic. Is that how you would say that? Like paradigm, ATIC, paradigmatic. I've never said it in that form. The Eighth Circuit has identified calling someone a fascist as a paradigmatic example of a statement that is indefinite and therefore opinion. I guess so. I mean, I think that fascist does have an objective definition, but I think like because it's most people generally don't want to be thought of as a fascist, it's a little bit murky. Like making the accusation, it's not probably going to be confirmed or denied by the target.
Yeah. Well, did you hear, well, I think this is the same paragraph, but Mayor Hansen's own definition of fascism or being a fascist?
So good.
It's pretty fucking good.
Mayor Hansen's own deposition testimony confirms the term's inherently subjective nature. When asked to define fascist, Evan, actually, before we get to Mayor Hansen's, could you define fascist to me? What do you think it is?
It's an extremely nationalist political ideology that, oh my God, don't put me on the spot like this, Justin. I don't fucking know what fascism is.
Yeah, I mean,
authoritarian, right-wing, nationalist, anti-minority, pro-corporate ideology.
Yeah, I think that's good. Using state law enforcement against the people in a very, strong-handed way. Flexing state power to subjugate the populace. Okay. When asked to define fascist, Mayor Hansen described it as somebody that has no respect for life, would kill, harm, demean somebody, don't care about their human values, any of that. A rambling response that only underscores the impossibility of objective verification. I like that.
Yeah.
How can it be defamation if you don't even know what the word means? The circumstances surrounding both arrests demonstrate that they were motivated by the content of Peterson's criticism rather than any legitimate concern for meeting decorum. Most telling is the criminal complaint filed after Peterson's October 24th arrest, which explicitly identified his critical remarks about the mayor and police chief as the basis for his arrest. This official document did not identify elements of the charged offense or cite concerns about disruptive behavior. It candidly admitted that the arrest was based on the content of Peterson's speech. Like, how can they be so stupid to write that on the criminal charge?
Yeah, I like this judge also. I mean, they got a summary judgment, which is like pretty rare. Which is basically like, we don't even need to go to trial. We don't need to talk about this in person. Just based on the documents you submitted, there's no way that this is justified.
It's pretty open and shut, yeah. There was only one count, I think, that Noah was not awarded summary judgment, which is that the defamatory comments rule was not a, what is it called? It's in here somewhere. Prior restraint. It was not a prior restraint on Noah's speech. But every other count, which I think is a lot of counts, like 9 counts, they awarded in Noah's favor. So all that remains really is like, well, what's the restitution then?
Yeah.
Which is pretty good news.
Shout out to Noah.
Yeah, for people who want to criticize their own government, which shouldn't be this hard to do. The retaliatory motive is further supported by Chief Burtis' deposition testimony, in which he conceded that he did not evaluate whether Mayor Hansen's directive was lawful before making the arrest, despite acknowledging that Peterson had a legal right to address the council. This admission reveals that the arrest was not based on an independent assessment of probable cause for disorderly conduct, but rather on unquestioning deference to a directive that was itself motivated by hostility towards Peterson's protected speech. It's really nice to see, because this happens all the time, right? Like, elected officials at this like small municipal level are often some of the pettiest people alive.
Yeah.
Right.
They were gearing up to arrest him. That's another part.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of talked about it, like the fact that like he, submitted his, request for public comment. They knew he was going to be there. They already had problems with him. They knew that there was going to be an opportunity there to fucking arrest one of their critics. And they took it when there was no reason to, other than their own fucking hatred, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's how dare this guy like do something we don't want him to do. This is our meeting. This is our building. This is not a place for our subjects to come and express themselves. And if you've ever been to a contentious like city council meeting, you understand that mindset. You've seen it in action. Even if they don't go so far as to arrest their critics, they don't want you there.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too, is
bothering them.
After they arrested him, the mayor gave that whole speech about like, do your activism elsewhere. This is for, city business. Like, we're here to do your business, so don't bring your activism here, all this bullshit. Yeah, no politics at the city council meeting. Fucking moron.
Yeah, so stupid, dude. Having found that both arrests violated the Fourth Amendment, the court must determine whether defendants are entitled to qualified immunity. They are not. They're very succinct and blunt. Oh, here, yeah, what you were just talking about, which is from my phone recording. Hansen's remarks to the remaining audience members after Peterson's arrest, directing them to, quote, go do your activism somewhere where somebody cares, are part of the record and speak for themselves. That a presiding officer would characterize citizen participation in a public comment forum as unwelcome activism is evidence bearing on the viewpoint-based nature of his enforcement decisions. Yes. It's so nice to see a judge like write all of this out. There's a bit about how the mayor, the city administrator, and the chief of police had a meeting after the first time they arrested Noah. They had a meeting, which you were also alluding to a minute ago. A meeting deciding what their plan of action would be when Noah came to the next meeting, which is like, arrest him again.
Yeah.
This was not a rogue decision by a single actor. It was a coordinated strategy developed by the city's chief executive, top administrator, and police chief.
Yeah.
And how could he dare call these people fascists?
I know. And also props to Noah, because he was like completely calm the entire time. Like he did not act. The only thing that he did to act out was to speak.
Yeah.
Constitutionally protected.
This is so dumb. This guy's not the mayor anymore, by the way. They have a different mayor now. I don't know if this had any bearing on the election, but I haven't been paying close attention to Newton for the past couple of years. That's one thing that's pretty wild about this, is that this was like 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy that this has been such an ongoing process. So yeah, Noah, this will be going to trial on the issue of damages. So that's good news for him. Judge ruled in his favor pretty extensively. A lot of really fun stuff to read in that ruling. And he's going to get something from the city.
Yeah.
Hoping for the best there. I do have to say this, though. Noah Peterson did not respond to a request for comment from Rock Hard Caucus.
What the fuck, Noah?
No, I think he's very wisely keeping a little bit quiet while this is still ongoing.
Yeah. You don't have to talk to us. That's fine.
No, it's okay. He did go on one of the TV news stations. I forget who he talked to, but maybe now is not the time to talk to us.
That's smart.
While you're waiting for the court to make a decision on how many houses the city of Newton has to buy for you.
Yeah, he's also, I think he got I can't remember what the group was, but there was like a civil rights law firm that got involved in his case because it was such a fucking slam dunk.
Yeah. It's
and so he did not, I think it was pro bono. So like,
Yeah.
Again,
Institute
shout out
for
to
Justice.
to Noah.
I think
Yes,
IJ.
I think, IJ. Yeah.
Yes,
you're
the
right.
Institute for Justice is their name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go, so speaking of city council meetings and getting involved in local politics and how aggressively elected officials don't want you to get involved in local politics, despite what you may have heard. Coralville City Council did, in fact, vote to cancel the flock contract. So I did want to acknowledge that real quick before we leave. I'm happy that it happened. I'm frustrated that it took months and months of constant pressure from the public to make it happen. I'm frustrated that it took a threat from the state attorney general to make it happen. I'm frustrated that Royce Peterson didn't show up to the meeting after, basically betraying us for the past several months by allowing this to continue and then not showing up when the opportunity presented itself to finally backtrack and cancel the contract. But I don't want to completely undermine what is, a significant victory in the battle against Flock. It is important that this happened. We should be happy, but it's hard to, celebrate when it took so long and so annoying.
Yeah.
But a celebration, this is a way that I feel I can celebrate.
Okay. I'm here for it. I think I know where you're going, but we'll see.
So my city councilors, Mike Knudsen, Hai Wynn, and Katie Freeman, all voted to cancel the contract. Those three, right? There was one dissenting councilor, Rich
Yes.
Vogelsang.
Yes.
He voted against this resolution to cancel the contract. And he commented, he explained why. And you're not going to hear anything new if you've been listening to the episodes on this subject over the past few months. You're not going to hear anything new, but it's worth giving him another moment, I guess, of time here on the show.
It's pretty good. His comments, they went over well.
I think it's good for us to understand where the opposition's coming from.
I would like to make a comment, to make a statement. There are many other communities that understand the value and the logic of having license plate readers in their communities. They have experienced actual proven successes by having flock cameras in their communities. They understand that law-abiding persons do not need to be concerned about having a license. They understand that law-abiding...
I'm not too ashamed to say that I was one of the people laughing. I don't think I was audible on the recording there, but it was involuntary. How many times do we have to listen to this shit?
Yeah.
Since the fucking Patriot Act, I've been hearing this bullshit.
He powered right through that shit too. You would think, I don't know. I'm susceptible to shame. And I feel like that, I don't know. A lot of people aren't. And they should be.
So yes, I do want to, shout out everybody who showed up to that meeting and laughed in this guy's face. But he's got more to say, and I do think we should let him have his piece here.
Persons do not need to be concerned about having a license plate reader cameras in their community. I firmly believe that the silent majority of our Coralville community, which comprised of over 22,000 residents plus how many thousands and thousands and thousands of visitors that come through our community. The silent majority of our community, and many of whom I have spoken with over the last 7 or 8 months, many who have deep-rooted, long-standing vested interest in Coralville.
Where have you heard the term silent majority before?
Richard Nixon.
It's very associated with Richard Nixon, one of our most scandalous presidents.
Yeah. But yeah, these fucking silent majority hates the fucking hippies out here. The hippies who don't want to be caught on, ALPR cameras every single time they go to the grocery store.
Dragnet surveillance, yeah. And, the silent majority is, of course, there's a lot of racism associated with that concept, like Nixon, Southern strategy, whatever shit. But in this case, it's even sillier because it's Nixon won. He won a national election and, points to a silent majority as the groundswell of support that, brought him to the White House. When you're talking about a silent majority, like, you are a lone dissenting voice on this council. So why doesn't the silent majority have more representation on the council if they are a majority? Why is it 1 out of 5? That's not a majority.
And they support law enforcement, and they support having flock cameras here in Coralville. So regardless of what we've been told, regardless of how you may feel, and regardless of what you may think, that if we vote to cancel the contract with Flock, it will only accomplish one thing. Canceling the Flock contract will take away a tool that can assist area law enforcement agencies in helping finding missing persons, such as with Amber Alerts and Silver Alerts, to help find alleged perpetrators of crimes, and to assist in investigations of crimes, including crimes of human trafficking. Cancellation of our flock safety contract is in fact a failure to provide safety benefits for the greater good of our community and to the majority of our community. While I can support amending the current policy that we have to make it compliant with the code, I cannot support the cancellation of our contract with Flock Safety.
So what he's saying there is he would support amending the city policy to explicitly allow sharing data with federal agencies like ICE, to allow Flock data to be used explicitly on immigration enforcement. I mean, we all know that if that's what ICE wanted, it would have happened regardless of city policy, but that's what he's saying there, is that we should not be getting rid of this tool. I would support allowing ICE to look through all the data on every resident of the city at all times, but yeah. Anyway, I'm proud to now live in the crime capital of Iowa, Coralville. My human trafficking operation is stronger than ever because Flock has been defeated in this battle. You know, let me have another minute here. There was a work session after the city council meeting that I also attended. And while we're on the subject of like tyrannical local government officials, I don't like my mayor very much. And I think that she's trying to like flex her authority by controlling aspects of these meetings in arbitrary ways. Like moving the work sessions from this big chamber where there's plenty of seating to a small conference room where there's much more limited space, which I think discourages public observation of the work sessions. And let me just play this clip. And if I need to, I can explain what's happening.
Sorry, Tim, may I just have a second, please? Please grab empty seat. Make yourself comfortable, please.
I would like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay standing here.
Excuse me, as mayor, I would like I would like city staff to sit at the table, and you're welcome to be, yes, it would just help us to do our work.
Could we take one of the chairs and put them to the side?
Go ahead. If Sherry will sit, sir, Sherry will sit, you could trade with her. Here's a spot. I don't mean for you not to have a chair.
No, it's okay.
I just mean that we need people around the table that can help us make the decisions and that can speak to us.
I understand. People who matter.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you all understanding. I realize
we need people who matter at the table.
What you're used to, or even what any of you have done before. A few of you have, but if you feel like you've had enough and you want to leave, you're welcome to come and go, but let's please keep any conversations or being on your phone or whatever at a limit, please.
So this tiny conference room, all the chairs taken immediately. I'm standing in the doorway, and City Councilor Hai Win has an empty seat at this table, this conference table next to her, and offers it to the people who are standing. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll come sit next to you. That'd be fun. As I'm sitting, the mayor is like, no. Mayor Lori Goodrich is like, no, city staff only. And then proceeds to just like go on and on. This like condescending bullshit.
So such a drawn out. Yeah, I don't know. I guess these people do tend to like the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think she also just wanted to discourage our presence. like I understand that this is something you're not used to. Maybe you've never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to leave, you can. Huh? Isn't that alluring?
Yeah.
The thought of leaving this room, leaving me alone.
I don't know. I think I would have been pretty enticed to leave the room.
Yeah, I had to hold my tongue in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I really had to fight the urge to just say, like, I'm allowed to be here, I think. I think this is open to the public, isn't it? Anyway, the only reason that recording exists is because Ryan Swenka brought his camera to the meeting because another aspect of arbitrarily moving the meetings between rooms is that they don't have a camera set up in there. Mm-hmm. So this public meeting that's supposed to be accessible to the public does not get recorded like the main meeting does. So that's another battle we're having with our small town city council. Anyway, if you have the energy and the stomach for it out there, you should also bother your local elected officials whenever possible. You pay their salary, don't forget that.
True.
All right, we should probably get going, huh?
Sure.
I don't think that there hasn't been any exchange of nuclear fire while we've been recording, has there?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't checked up on what's going on.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay for now. So if we're still alive in a few days, here's some things I can plug. This Thursday, March 5th, a few of the people who were at that city council meeting in Coralville we were just looking at are going to be on the People Power Radio Hour on KRUI. That's 89.7 FM if you're local, and you can go to krui.fm to stream if you're not local. 5 p.m. this Thursday, March 5th. This is a show that I was on last summer. It's talking about Flock. So they're going to be talking about this long, drawn-out process that finally ended with the cancellation of the contract. So I think that it'll be an informative listen for people who are trying to do something similar in their own communities. I will try to get a recording of that on our podcast feed once it happens. March 5th, this Thursday, 5 p.m. Day after that, again, assuming we're still alive, I'll be performing at Trumpet Blossom March 6th, this Friday. Keith Wecker from Vancouver, British Columbia, is on tour, and opening for him or supporting him, I don't know the order of the performances yet, but Weapon X, my duo with Will Yeager, will be playing, as well as U-Day Duo, which is Charlotte and Levi Brown, saxophone and percussion. This Friday, Trumpet Blossom, March 6th. And then the day after that, I'm going to be playing in Cedar Falls with the band Lou Sherry at Octopus. I've never been there. I'm excited to finally go there. Running Man, The Value of Human Life, and Lou Sherry, March 7th, Octopus, Cedar Falls. Later this month, March 28th, my band Ascended Master will be playing a show at Frat House, supporting artists from Chicago on tour, Nequient and Black Cross Hotel. Heavy music. That's what that one is.
That's a cool name. I like that. Black Cross Hotel.
Black Cross Hotel. Yeah, interesting. Hotel. How would you relate that to Neutral Milk Hotel? Sort of
sounds like lot harder.
Probably.
I'm not a big fan of Neutral Milk Hotel, to be honest. They're fine.
Is it because of the guy who like bows a saw and sexually assaults people? You don't like that guy?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot he had. I'm not keeping up on the Elephant Six collective these days.
Yeah. No, I really do like In the Airplane Over the Sea, but
I mean, I like it. I just don't really know why people are like throwing so much praise on it.
Sure, it's pretty good.
I mean, I thought it was funny when he says, "I love you, Jesus Christ." Like,
it is funny
1,000,000 times, the entire song. And like, Seaman stands the mountaintops and stuff. Something about like,
ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a big fan.
Anyway, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a different band.
That's good.
If you would like to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you. I was thinking about putting together a new poster advertising our phone number with a little picture of William Shatner, like doing a Hubie and Abraham commercial. Make a poster like that.
Yeah.
Call 319-849-8733. Rock Hard Caucus right now. Tell them you mean business. 319-849-8733. We have a Patreon if you would like to support the continued existence of this show. Again, assuming that we live past the end of this week, we would love your support at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. Released a new episode of Speed Freak Read Speak last week with Tony. We watched a season of a cartoon. Well, I watched it. Tony didn't watch as much of it as it turns out, but but we discussed it. Evan and I have also been watching a TV show and discussing it in depth called Invasion Iowa. That's why I was thinking about William Shatner a minute ago. Mm-hmm. Talking Shat is the name of that series. We just recorded a 4th episode with a good friend of the show, Eden, and that'll be out sometime this week once I have time to edit it. Again, assuming we do not die in a nuclear hellfire. And this isn't on Patreon, but it's also on the Rock Hard Caucus feed. I interviewed my friend Denny Richards of the aforementioned Lou Sherry. And I put that out as episode 153 of I Hear I See Radio just yesterday. So scroll back in the feed, 1 episode, and you'll hear that. We're going to close out with some music. I have an unreleased track from Weapon X, which again is playing at Trumpet Blossom this Friday, March 6th. Haven't really done any mixing or production work on this, so don't be alarmed if it sounds unpolished and shitty. No, I don't think it sounds shitty, but it's not I'm not going to release this commercially yet, but you're getting a sneak peek. It's like a demo, something we recorded back in September.
Unpolished can be really good, you know?
Yeah, I like it, but it needs.
I like
some
music
work
that sounds like shit. To be honest,
yeah, well, yeah, same here actually, but but I'm not going to put this out on tape yet. This is a sneak peek for the Rock Hard Caucus listeners. If you like what you hear, come see us play on Friday at Trumpet Blossom, and if you like the show and you want us to play your music on the show, just send it to us. You can go to our website, rockhardcock.us. There's a submission form there, or you can just email us or call us at the phone number I mentioned a minute ago. Find me on the street, hand me a CD, whatever. Give us your music. And good luck. I hope we all survive this week. I hope we all survive forever.
Oh, it'll be fine.
All right, see ya.
Bye.